How to be a goody-two-shoes for your business. Back in the mid-1700s, there was a children's tale about a little girl who had just one shoe, and that made her very sad. Along came someone and they gave her two shoes, and she was so happy and so delighted she went around telling everyone, two shoes, because she was so proud and delighted with herself, and she thought she was perfect now because she had two shoes instead of one. The story caught on and became very popular, and the expression Goody-Two-Shoes was born out of the main character in the tale who had two shoes. Now, it came to mean, of course, a person who thinks they're perfect and tries to be. They try to be the best version of themselves. I don't have any problem with each and every one of us becoming and being the best version of ourselves and striving to do that. I'm all for, and I talk about it all the time, continuous improvement in everything we do and who we are and who we are becoming. We always want to be, continuously improving. I'm all for that. But it's the over the line behavior. And again, we each get to draw that line for ourselves. We get to decide what is too much, what is not enough. But there's ways that you can set yourself up to get all of the advantages of other people thinking and assuming you're awesome and perfect and the best thing since sliced bread, versus you going out and behaving in ways that people find irritating. Think back to school. Were you ever in a class in school, any age, any classroom, where somebody was clearly and predominantly the person kissing up to the teacher or the teacher's pet? Did you ever have that friend that would soft soap your parents and was always trying to get on their good side and annoy the daylights out of you because you're like, hey, quit sucking up to my mom and dad. This is my mom. This is my dad. Kids did that to my mom all the time. Everybody adored my mom when we were growing up, and they still do. She's an absolutely amazing, wonderful woman. And people can behave in ways that are awesome and respectful and kind toward your folks, but you get a little territorial when they act like they are part of the family and they belong in. It's their mom too. I guess I was probably that mom for some of my kids' friends as well, so I should probably back off on that. Not because I wanted to be a goody-two-shoes, and not because they did that, but they got attention, right? People, human beings, are starved for attention, especially now during COVID-19. I don't know about you, but I think every single day, what would I do if I didn't have my granddaughter 5 days a week? I'd probably be going bonkers. So Goody-Two-Shoes, how again can you apply this to your business? The best way possible, I think, is to let your customers, let your people that you serve sing your praises. Let them be the ones that talk about and share the stories of how you serve them, how amazing you are. Give incredible value, of course, to everyone that you're come in contact with. Treat people the way you want to be treated, but give value and ask people for testimonials. Ask them to share the story. Ask them to tell the story, and then share that story, share that testimony, versus you telling the world how wonderful you are. It is so much more powerful, and I'm sure there's statistics on it. It's probably 7 times to 10 times to 20 times more powerful to have other people talk about you in a positive way than for you to talk about yourself and how awesome your business is in a positive way. Now, you can tell and continue to let people know what it is that you can do for them and how you can solve their problems, but you can do that in a way that adds value, teaches them and entertains them, and gives them more information about you versus you bragging. And it's a really fine line between how people will interpret you bragging versus you being confident and clearly stating and showing people what you can do for them. And guess what? Your competition is always going to think you're bragging, right? They're always going to think that no matter what other people and no matter what you say about you and no matter what products and services you provide for people, they're going to think that you're full of yourself and bragging. Now, I do have a friend from high school, actually, who I wish she would do more of this because she's absolutely freaking incredible and amazing, yet she just tells the world how amazing she is. Now, she's got hundreds and hundreds of testimonies, and so it would be so easy for her to just share those testimonies and let other people sing her accolades than when she presents it herself. And so I'm sure I'm gonna have to tell her that one of these days, because I am her friend and I want her to let the world know how awesome she is. So let others sing your praises. Do what's right no matter what. Remember to think long-term in your business versus short-term. Sometimes it's so tempting. We'll hear about a strategy or a tactic and we think, oh, I'm going to do that. That would be awesome. It would get me so much X, Y, or Z, so much money, so much more time, so much whatever for me and my business. But it's not really the right long-term fit for your business and for what you're trying to achieve with your business. You know, it's tempting to do that, but I'm going to say resist doing short-term hacks and strategies when the foundational long-term way of growing your business is always going to get you a good feeling about the results that you get. So think long-term. Think about making the world a better place with your business and what you do with your business versus little short-term wins. Now, it doesn't mean we don't want some short-term wins, but make sure that the short-term wins and strategies that you apply in your business and in your life are moving you in the direction that you want to go. If you feel the least bit icky about it, guess what? It's not the right strategy for you. Don't do it. You'll regret it. Every time I've ever done anything that didn't feel right to me at all, I mean, even the littlest intuitive glitch that it didn't feel right, it's always turned out making me feel worse in the long run than if I hadn't done it at all. So I'm learning to listen, tap in, and really pay attention to the things that are right for me and right for my business. And I encourage you to do the same for yours. Keep in mind that no one is perfect. We're not perfect. We're all amazing, infinite human beings, but human beings are inherently flawed. Don't expect everything that you try or do for your business to be 100% awesome and right, at least not the first time, but always be growing and continually improving. And people will see that. People want to see your journey. They don't want to see that you're here on the mountaintop because they have no way of understanding, well, how can they want to be like you, but how can they do that? If you're so high up and talking down to people, you'll push them away because they won't believe it's possible for them as well. I would love to know your experience with this Goody-Two-Shoes saying, or have you used it? Have you ever called somebody a Goody-Two-Shoes? I'm sure I've called somebody a Goody-Two-Shoes before. Guilty. I'm sure I have a sister that's sometimes a Goody-Two-Shoes, and everybody thinks she's the salt of the earth, and sometimes she's just plain a jerk. And the last thing I want to say about this idiom is when you're choosing what you're going to do for your organization, make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons and that your intentions are good. If you have a particular cause or charitable organization or something that you support and that you've picked as a company to support and use part of your profits to, make sure you've selected that because it's true and near and dear to your heart and it's a cause you really, really believe in and want to be behind. Don't just pick one because you think it's the one that your customers think you should pick, right? Because that will come off as insincere. Whenever we're giving something and truly giving it and giving to it, the intent has to be to give with no expectation of anything in return. People can smell if you're giving them value because you want them to become your customer. And there's again a fine line between giving things away and expecting, hey, I'm only giving this to you if you become my customer, versus putting it out there in the universe and putting it out in the world for people to consume and letting it attract the people who are right for you to work with. That's it. Share in the comments below your experience with this idiom or this expression and what you think about it. I would imagine that there are people that absolutely positively disagree with some of the things that I've said here today. And that's perfectly all right. I want to hear that too, because I just look at an idiom and I say, what does it mean to me and how might I apply it to my business so that other people can look at words and idioms and phrases and ask themselves, what does this mean to the majority of the people I serve, and is there a way that I can use it to make my business stronger and better and make the world a better place? All right, have a great day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you apply it to your business right now? Take care. Bye. Go be a Goody-Two-Shoes. Have some fun.